Some of the horses are like models, to be honest. The head for the Arabian horse, the curve of the back, every part of the horse will give its own beauty.
Most species that lives here are extraordinary because we have here the Gulf is a very special ecosystem. The animals that lives here need to have a physiological adaptation for the intense salinity and for the intense temperature.
Hello, welcome to Qatar 365 with me, Adil Halim. On this episode, we take a closer look at Qatar's efforts to preserve its unique wildlife and natural heritage, from falcons soaring in the sky to marine life in the country's coastal waters. But first, Ioana Hughes visits the Qatar International Arabian Horse Festival to learn all about an animal that's been roaming the country's desert lands for millennia.
Celebrated for their endurance, fiery temperament and striking physical features, few animals are cherished more in the Middle East than Arabian horses. Dating back at least 4,500 years, the breed is thought to be one of the oldest in the world and is part and parcel of the region's rich cultural and equestrian heritage.
I've come to the Qatar International Arabian Horse Festival here in Doha to get up close with these majestic animals. Currently in its 5th edition, the festival spotlights Qatar's deep-rooted equine traditions and provides a platform for local owners and breeders to showcase their horses on an international stage. It's become a flagship event on the world's equestrian calendar, with only the finest Arabians eligible to compete.
The Arabian horse is very important to all Arabs, and in Qatar in specific, we really get the pride of having or owning these type of horses. The Qatar International Arabian Horse Festival is one of the biggest horse beauty champion in the world in terms of the prizes giving. What we are trying to do is to increase the number of the Arabian horse within Qatar and to start to compete outside Qatar. We need really to keep the clear breed of this horse, and we need to encourage it more by having special championship for these horses only.
Judges have their work cut out for them as the competition in the various categories is fierce. With so much refinement and beauty on display, it's hard to imagine that these horses' striking physical attributes are the result of the harsh desert climate in which the breed evolved.
Some of the horses are like models, to be honest. The head for the Arabian horse, you will notice that the head, it's a bit smaller than the other horses. And the nostrils of the horse also is different than the normal horses, which it's a bit bigger. The mouth as well, the curve of the back and the tail upwards. Standing in a position, it's a model. When you see it, it's a model. So every part of the horse will give its own beauty.
The Qatar International Arabian Horse Festival isn't just about the action in the arena. There are plenty of equestrian activities on offer for horse lovers of all ages, including saddle painting, art exhibitions and educational workshops. It's a festival that's as much about celebrating the beauty of the breed today as it is about preserving the legacy of these prized animals that for thousands of years have roamed the ancient desert sands of the Arabian Peninsula.
Now, from preservation initiatives on land to efforts to document Qatar's rich marine life. Every year, from April to September, just off the country's northwest coast, the Arabian Gulf is home to an incredible natural phenomenon, one of the largest gatherings of whale sharks. They're just one of many sea animals found in Qatar's territorial waters. Professor, Qatar University plays a key role in documenting the country's rich marine life. What are some of the most extraordinary creatures that either pass through or live in the country's coastal waters?
In my opinion, most species that lives here are extraordinary because we have here the Gulf is a very special ecosystem. We have one of the most extreme, higher salinity and higher temperature waters in the world. So the animals that lives here need to have a physiological adaptation for the intense salinity and for the intense temperature. So the coral reefs here, in my opinion, are the most extraordinary one. And they survive to temperature that most corals in the world are dying. Then we have the other animals that surrounds here, and including the animals that enter the Gulf to search for a better condition for reproduction, for nesting like the sea turtles.
So Qatar is home to one of the largest congregations of whale sharks. What is it about the natural environment that exists here that brings these majestic creatures to Qatar?
Honestly, nobody knows exactly why they are here. We know that they might have a good food resource, so they have a great amount of food available, and in certain mode they feel protected in this region. And it's interesting because they search the region here in the summer, the most extreme temperatures, but it still is not well defined why they are here and why make this region so special.
So what are some of the biggest threats Qatar faces when it comes to marine biodiversity and its ecosystem?
Like we said, here is one very extraordinary environment with really high temperature. But the temperature, it's passing really above what used to be very high. So what used to reach 36, 35, now is keeping, let's say, 36 for 3 months sometimes. So this is a great threat. Then we have also the fishing activity. Some fishing activity are really compromising the ecosystem, and the ghost nets as well. We see a lot of turtles dying in that, a lot of marine life are dying because sometimes the fishermen lost their gear, and then when we are diving, we find the gear like covering coral reef zones.
Some of the species in Qatar's water are now endangered or vulnerable. What's the country doing to preserve and restore these, the environment for these creatures?
We are beyond the moment of only preserving. We need to actively restore the ecosystem, especially the key ones that are the oyster beds and the coral reefs. Because the marine life here, all the male turtles, for instance, in the reproduction time, they are above the coral reefs. The dolphins, they are linked to the coral reefs. Like in theory, one of the main food linked to the whale sharks are linked to the coral reefs as well. So yes, if we focus in restoring oyster bed and coral reefs, is the main solution to recover the ecosystem.
Along with the majestic Arabian horses we saw earlier, falcons are also highly regarded animals here in Qatar. The art of falconry has been passed down for generations, and that strong legacy continues here in Doha's historic Souk Waqif. Laila Humaira visited a hospital dedicated entirely to the preservation and care of these birds of prey.
Just like a regular clinic, these patients are waiting for their turn with the doctor. Some are coming in for a routine checkup, while others need to fix a feather or two. This is the Souk Waqif Falcon Hospital, a one-of-a-kind clinic that also houses a falcon museum.
We have 2 operation theaters, one for orthopedic and one for soft tissue surgery. From diagnosis to treatment to supportive service like the microchip or ID or passport or anything else. In the hospital, we have a software, a unique medical system which will be storage all data of that falcon science 2008 until now.
Falconry is a tradition many Qataris like Misnet Al-Mohannadi was born into. Once used by past generations to hunt for food, the falcon has become an expensive symbol of status and an enduring cultural heritage.
I was like 6 to 7 years old. First, they teach you to be, like to give respect to that bird, and it has to be a bond with you and the falcon.
Building trust with a wild animal is a long and time-consuming process, and a big part of that is learning how to care for the falcon.
In addition to providing medical care and surgery for the falcons, the hospital also has labs capable of gene sequencing, clinical tests, and vaccinations to make sure that the highly revered birds are in the best of health when they soar high in the sky.
Majestic, agile, and intelligent, the falcon is a natural predator. While hunting is in its DNA, the secret of the falcon's skills is in its anatomy.
The falcon is a unique bird. It's a very strong bird. For the nostril, you have a small bone in the center, which will give him the opportunity to the air when he's stopping, the air coming like a cylinder, become hot and relax with a slow flow to the lung. He have 9 air sacs, which will be like a bank of oxygen when he wants more oxygen.
A hunter is only as good as his tools, So it's no wonder the falcons also get their beaks and talons maintained at the hospital. Depending on what breed the falcons are, the most common being peregrine, sucker, and gyr, the birds of prey are known to fetch up to millions of dollars in the market.
So the most common will be like 5,000 riyals. It's going to be like it's going to be $1,000 and until $1 million. There is a lot, expensive falcons that's really expensive. It's like, it's like buying a house.
The Suq Waqif Falcon Hospital also took part in a pioneering genome project aimed at sequencing different breeds to develop new ways of identifying falcons and overcoming potential diseases.
We can now, by the genome, by genes test, we can know that falcon which will be pure, sucker or peregrine or gyr, or maybe hybrid. And at the same time that they open to you the door for a lot of benefits, like, what is the gene in the gyr falcon can give you suspected tumor that disease than the peregrine falcon in this disease.
In March, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, or CITES, opened an office at the hospital, which will facilitate the international transit and movement of falcons, boosting the country's contributions to the protection of animals and further putting falconry in Qatar on the wings of honor, prestige, and tradition.
From majestic Arabian horses roaming on land to marine life swimming underwater and falcons soaring in the skies above, we hope you enjoyed this look at Qatar's wildlife preservation efforts. But that's all the time we have for now. For more, check out Euronews.com and connect with us through our hashtag. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Qatar 365.